Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. Happy Monday to you, man. We got quite the crowd here today. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Jan. Good morning, Lauren. Let's see here. Good morning, Dan from Omaha. And good morning, Shauna. Brenda Jean from your 50-degree cold shower. It is wonderful to see all of you guys here from all different places, from all different walks of life. We come together to really join and be part of a universal message, a message of hope and love for each and every single one of us. And I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. It is an absolute pleasure and a privilege to do these every morning. And yeah, I've had a good morning thus far. The question of the day was, what cool thing happened this weekend? All of us just had a weekend, and perhaps we worked during that weekend, perhaps we hung out with friends. But what cool thing happened to you this weekend? For me, well, one of the really cool things that happened was that I finished up reading all of the journals that I intend to burn over at the journal burning party. I've actually I got permission from some wonderful friends in order to host it over at their house, and so there will be a party hosted literally right next door to the valley, and really excited about that. I put the link in the comments if you are interested in doing that. But all of my friends are invited, and we're basically just going to be well, I know I'm going to be burning some of my old journals and one of my sister's old journals as well that she entrusted to me. She asked me if I would read it and then burn it when I was done with it, and so I did. I read it and I burned it when I was done with it. But there's something so intimate about giving somebody else a journal to read and saying, "Hey, here's this. Learn more about me." And as I was reading through my own journals and realizing, all the ways that I've changed in life, and many of the ways that I've stayed the same, some of the problems that I've overcome, some that I'm still overcoming in order to become the person that I was born to be. I was, was really struck by the fact that there comes a time to, there comes a time to completely release and let go of all of those old stories. And one of the cool things that happened this weekend was that the I finished up rereading all of the journals, and can really put some parts of my life to bed, put them to rest. So I'm really happy that I was able to get that done. Of course, there were party after party this weekend, including some really, really fun ones. I went to an amazing birthday party that was definitely a standout. The the Saturday night party was a lot of fun. I went and hung out with a lot of people that were that are really special to me, and and talked to many other ones also, and so I had a very cool weekend. I'm glad you guys had cool weekends too. So anyway, yeah, so we are here today to say some good stuff about us, and we're gonna do the thing that we do every day. I'm gonna ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we're going to respond out loud. I am that affirmation. As we do it, we are building into ourselves. We are rewiring our own brains. We are creating new neural pathways, and so much of the way that we look at life was set up for us in very early childhood through early experiences that we had, in many cases controlled not even by us, but controlled by the people who were around us, by the authority figures who very much ran our lives when we were small. And, for our own benefit, but also in many ways contributing to our own unique neuroses. And so we are here today to very much intentionally redo our own thought patterns such that they are beneficial to us. So let's have some fun today, and let's pull a card off the top of the deck and say that today I am magical. I am magical. I inspire joy and wonder. So I am magical. I inspire joy and wonder. Are you magical? Oh, you are magical. You are very, very magical. And I'm going to write that down in the comments that I am magical, that I inspire joy and wonder. But what is magic? And why would we aspire to be magical? So, got a story for you. When I was living on Maui, I actually ended up with my face and likeness on top of two magic sets, one for kids and one for adults. And if I'm going to have my face on magic sets, which was as a part of a marketing thing for the fudge company that I was managing at the time, And I figured that I would need to learn a little bit of magic. And so my boss at the time was a very accomplished stage magician, and so we just kind of went through a whole bunch of the magic tricks, and I learned how to do quite a few of them. And one thing that I recognized when doing magic tricks is, of course, there's no such thing as magic. Magic is an illusion. It's a sleight of hand. And but and when you're looking at magic from the point of view of the observer, when you're watching somebody do an illusion from the point of view of the observer, when it's well practiced, it looks so good. But if you were to just shift your gaze ever so slightly and see it from the point of view of the magician, it is so obvious, it is so silly how it all works, that it loses all of its luster and fun. I remember that this was demonstrated quite by somebody who is quite a more accomplished magician than me. So Penn and Teller did it, and Penn and Teller did it on a TV show, and they had some celebrity up there, and they were doing some magic for this celebrity, and the celebrity was absolutely amazed by what was happening. But the camera was actually looking over Penn's shoulder, and we could see exactly what he was doing and how he was doing it, but she couldn't. And so even though the what was happening was very obvious to the audience, it was not obvious to the celebrity who was watching it happen from their end. And so it is with the magic that's in our lives. So it is with the magic that's in our lives. What we do seems like it's ordinary to us. In fact, from our point of view, it seems downright silly. It seems like what we do in our lives, what we accomplish in our lives, is a foregone conclusion. It must be because we accomplished it. It must be easy because we did it. And yet, to an outside observer, what we do in our lives is pure magic. The way that we navigate what happens to us is pure magic. And when we can detach ourselves from ourselves and see ourselves from the point of view of a third party, then the character of our lives takes on this otherworldly appearance, this otherworldly occurrence. And we have to understand that we do inspire joy, that we do inspire wonder simply by living. I look at some of the folks around me and I wonder how they do the life that they do. There are several people that I swear must be supernatural. And of course they're not. And of course they don't believe that they are. They believe that their life is totally normal. They couldn't think about living life any differently than they do. Even as I look at them and think, wow, what a phenomenon you are. How incredible that you are. And so I am magical. And you are magical too. We are magical people. We inspire joy and wonder. And the magic that we have in our lives, to us, it seems ordinary. And it is very easy for us to get lost into a trap or caught into a trap where we don't value ourselves because we don't think that there's anything special about us, where we don't think that we've accomplished very much at all because we accomplished it, because we did it. I think about some of the stuff that I did in life that other people tell me is an amazing accomplishment that I don't think is all that amazing because I lived through it. Whenever I talk about stories about motorcycling down through Central America or just, picking up my stuff and moving to different countries or different states, people tell me that what I did was uncommon or that they could never do that or, wow, how brave I must be. But not to me. To me, I feel like my life could have only proceeded that way and that I made the most logical choices in the moment. And going back across my journals and rereading the choices that I made and the rationalizations that I made for them, and knowing from this future point of view, future me looking at past me, when future me, when this current version of myself looks back at the choices that I made and the paradigms that I was living in, I can recognize, understand, and empathize with myself. But also, I'm very happy with the ones that have worked out very well. And the ones that I've made that have not worked out, the consequences of them not working out have been very short-lived. And so, just like a magician confidently uses sleight of hand on a stage, knowing full well that they are creating and casting an illusion, so too are we with our lives. So too do we confidently move around the elements of our lives, creating this incredible illusion for others about how on earth we do it. And yet We just understand that it's practice. We understand that we are very practiced at being who we are. We are very practiced at making the sorts of choices that we make. And so when we are presented with a new opportunity to make a choice, we make the one that is most reasonable to us based on our own life experience. And so this perspective gives our lives a character of magic. It gives our lives this character of illusion, where the folks who are around us only really see the fruits of our labor. But of course, we know that it took a lot to get where we are. We understand that what we are accomplishing today is as a result of many, many years of laboring in obscurity. I had somebody compliment me the other day. They said, "Wow, how do you do the wake up call every morning? And how do you always know something to say?" And of course, the wake up call is not scripted. The wake up call flows from my heart. That's part of what makes it magical. And the answer, of course, is that I've been reading other people's thoughts for a very long time, and I've been thinking about this stuff for a very long time. And and the fact that somebody wants to listen to it now is an honor to me. But I realize that there was a whole lot of pain that went into this. There was a whole lot of work. There was a whole lot of introspection. There was a whole lot of making choices that were right at the time, but were not for my own short-term benefit. And it gives my life this character of magic where people think, oh, well, it must be, you know, he must be some kind of an exceptional person. And of course, I'm not. I'm not exceptional. I'm only exceptional insofar as everybody else around me is as well. I'm exceptional in that I'm unique, but so are you. We are all exceptions to the rule in many, many ways. But it's very interesting to me when somebody comes up and starts to put me on a pedestal as if I need to be on a pedestal. And my goal always is to raise them up and to recognize that they are on their own pedestal, that they are their own person, that we are on equal footing, that none of us knows what's going on today, and that we are all going to make the best choices available to us, given the information that we have, and also given our own paradigms, whatever those may be. And so I am magical today. You are magical too. We are magical people. And I would love to know, what it is that you have done in life that other people tell you is a magical thing, that other people say, wow, how on earth could you have possibly done that? When to you, it appears to be perfectly ordinary. Like, that's what I'd like to know from you today. I'd like to know, what parts of your personality, what accomplishments have you achieved? What things have you done that people consistently comment on when you talk about them and say, how on earth did you get that done? Where they think that you're magical, but you recognize that it wasn't magic at all. It was simply long-term discipline, and it was you doing the best you could with what you had when you had it. Because all of us have stories like that. We all have ways that we have overcome things that the people around us can't even dream of, can't even imagine. And so let's just use this card as our permission slip to inspire that joy and that wonder, to realize that just by living our lives that we are magical people, that just by living our lives that we have the ability to inspire others to be more full in their own expression. Just by living our lives that we have the ability to bring joy to other people, simply by watching what we've done and learning from what we've done, and learning from us being ourselves, and from learning new ways to be. There are many, many people in life who are on my personal board of directors who have taught me ways to be. I was reading through one of my old journals, and just remembering one of the very first people that I ever asked to mentor me, somebody who had achieved a lot of the things that I wanted to achieve, or that I thought I wanted to achieve at that time, and how much this person inspired me. And I still keep in contact with this person. In fact, I've achieved many of the things that I wanted to achieve back when I asked this person to mentor me. And it was not a very long-lived mentorship, although I still will keep track of this person and just sort of, just watch the way that they make decisions. And so one of the reasons that I'm magical is because I'm surrounded by other people who are also magical. And because I pay attention to the way that the people who are around me live their lives and live their lives in perpetual joy and wonder. So yeah, I'm very curious as about how do you guys what does your specific particular magic look like? So let's see. How do we do? Aw, Lauren says that she got to see Maui Paul. That's the coolest thing ever. Aw, flattery will get you everywhere, Lauren. Let's see here. So Dan had a great weekend. He said connected with a niece and a nephew along with the sister-in-law. That's really good stuff, Dan. It's nice to connect with family that related by blood, but maybe you don't hang out with them all that often. Good morning, Eric. Good to see you here. Let's see. Let's see where you guys are at. Hey, good morning, Tammy. Good to see that you have come on by today. Thank you so much for complimenting the card. Yeah, that's a fun one. I Am Magical is a fun card. Let's see. Magical is equal to from the heart. Oh, Janet, that's a beautiful way of putting it. Amanda says, I get asked all the time how I managed a successful polyamory relationship for 20 plus years. It's just my life. When we began, we wouldn't quit. We said when we began, we wouldn't quit. We just kept swimming. I think that's the way to have any relationship with anybody or multiple people, is to recognize that when we start having a relationship, just don't stop having one. Just always love the people who we've decided to love, and love, near or far, whether we are close in intimacy or less close in intimacy. Just love the people who we've chosen to be friends with, who we've chosen to be partners with, who we've chosen to love, and ultimately, love is an act of our will. When we choose to love, it's a verb. Let's see here. Shauna says, folks think I'm magically kind and loving to everyone. It's been a lifetime of training and programming. Well, I think that you're magically kind and loving to me, Shauna. And but I recognize that such love does not come naturally, that such love does require a bunch of training. And the training that love requires is of a very intense type, because all of us desire to love and to be loved, but our love is not perfect. We are not perfect in our love. Our love is merely a reflection of the universal love that lives inside of us. And so as we do it, we tend to do it. We tend to do it like amateurs. But definitely, it requires a lot of training. And over the course of time, as we learn how to love ourselves, we also get to we get the wonderful joy that comes from loving others. Janet says, choose to liquidly love others even when they have made choices that hurt me. Taught special education for years. Took a road trip to Vegas in a vehicle with no doors. Lost over 200 pounds with diet and exercise. Yeah, every single one of those things, Janet, makes you magical in somebody's world. And yet every single one of them, I'll bet, as you've been walking the path, the path simply lays itself out before you. And the same thing with me, as I've walked the path of my life, the next step is always just obvious to me. And so I simply take it. And I don't mean that the next step is always right. I do mean that the next step is always obvious. The next step is always informed by my values. The next step in my life is always informed by the choices I've made before, the experiences that I've had before, and my own, personal conviction to live up to my own highest values. And then that's how stuff like the wake-up call happens. That's how stuff like, the way that I comport myself in life happens. And I know that every single one of us, as we are going through our own lives, that the next step for us is always made clear. It's like we could drive across the entire country at night using only the beams of our headlights, only ever seeing maybe 75 to 100 yards ahead of us. And yet we stay on the road because as we travel down the road, more of the road is revealed. And so we are magical people, and we inspire joy and wonder simply by being ourselves. And I want to say thank you guys for inspiring joy and wonder in me today. And as we go through our day, let's just take whatever it comes toward us and count it as pure joy, recognizing that we get to live this experience called life, that we are here once again on this planet, being able to manifest change, being able to remake this world in our image, being able to impress our values upon the people around us and the situations around us and the choices that we make every day. And as we do that, as we do these things which seem to us to be so mundane, let us recognize that for the people around us, our lives will be unfolding as if in a state of pure magic. And what seems a foregone conclusion to us because we have lived it is to other people an inspiration and a joy and a wonder. So let's do that today. Let's live our lives in that wonderful, magical, happy place. My friends, it has been wonderful talking with you today. Thank you so much for your stories. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for going around and edifying each other's comments and sharing this and expanding this message. You guys are doing fantastic, and I just absolutely love to. I always love to see. Well, I always love to see it when my wake up call shows up on my own news feed because somebody else has shared it. It's just such a wonderful, empowering feeling. So, anyways, I just want to remind you that I love you. I care about you. I'll be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. for another wake up call. And we will once again go through stuff that is good for us. So until then, just a quick reminder that your life is worth living. And so keep on living it. Keep on doing the things that, even though they seem ordinary to you, really create a character of magic in your life. So until then, aloha from paradise.